insights to inform your global gaming business. 2020 was an unprecedented year for gaming, with millions more people playing games. This includes news such as lapsed players. But who are they and what do we know about them? Well, this panel will explore these questions and more, delving into Facebook gaming data from key markets, including the US, UK, Germany, Japan, as well as sharing never before published data on Brazil. Yeah, that's right. So the session is in English, so if you want to listen it in Portuguese, please access our link here at our channel, all right? So please, let's welcome Stefan Gray, Vertical Research Manager at Facebook, Claude Gingrich, Global Vertical Insight Strategist, Gaming and e-commerce, at Facebook, and Dan Printers, Chief Product Officer at Spaceship Games. How are you, everyone?
Hi, we're great. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm excited for this panel, actually. Are you ready?
Yes, thank you so much for the introduction. As Barbara just mentioned, I'm Chloe Gingrich, and I'm a Global Insight Strategist at Facebook, based in New York City. And I'm really excited to be joining you guys today to moderate this virtual panel with my colleagues Stephen and Dan of Spaceship Games. Say that 5 times fast. Thank you for joining us today. And without further ado, Dan, I'll pass it over to you for a brief introduction, and then over to Stephen to dive right into the micro presentation.
Hello, guys. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. I am Dan Printers. I am Chief Product Officer at Spaceship Games. I have been working with mobile free-to-play games for the past 2.5 years, and it has been a really impressive journey and a really good one as well. So it's now to you, Stephen.
Hey everyone, I'm Stephen Gray. I've been a researcher at Facebook for 5 years, and I am super excited to share with you the findings from a study that we just finished running at the end of last year. That said, I will dive in. Hopefully y'all can see my screen. Yes? Cool. So in order to set context for our panel, I'm going to quickly walk you through some of the data from a study we just finished fielding about understanding the mobile gaming consumer landscape after the first peak of the COVID-19 pandemic. So in all markets, we saw a significant growth in the mobile gaming population. For example, in the US, we estimated that there are 28 million new gamers since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, a 28% growth in the mobile gaming audience. These numbers are consistent with other third-party omnibus trackers measuring the size of the mobile gaming population in each respective market. So you may be wondering, who are these new gamers? Looking at age, we saw that new mobile gamers are significantly younger in some countries. More specifically, in the US, Germany, and the UK, we saw that the new mobile gamer population skewed 18 to 24 years old. However, this wasn't true for every country that we looked at. In fact, we found the opposite in South Korea, where new gamers actually skewed older, particularly in the 55 to 64 age bracket, and new Brazilian gamers were similar, if not slightly older, than the existing gaming population. In all markets except Brazil, new gamers reported playing significantly more hours per week than existing gamers. It's not on this slide, but we also looked at genre data, which suggests that new gamers across the US, UK, and Germany also preferred more core genres, such as shooters like Arena Free Fire. Taken together, the younger age, increased hours playing, and more core genres played in some markets suggest that new gamers may be more likely to have some console gaming experience. One thing that really stood out in all markets we explored was that a higher percentage of new gamers reported spending money on mobile games relative to the existing gamer group. It's worth noting this isn't the same thing as conversion rate, which are likely to be lower for any given game. These numbers were collected by survey and represent the propensity of a customer to spend on any single given game in a month. Not only were they more likely to spend, but the new gamers who did spend money also reported spending more money per month than the existing gamer group. Streaming platforms such as Twitch, YouTube Gaming, and Facebook Gaming all clocked record viewing hours in the months following the COVID-19 onset. Achieving headline-grabbing numbers is one thing, but maintaining momentum is another. The appetite for live streaming remains strong. From July to September 2020, people watched 7.46 billion hours of content across all live streaming platforms, according to Streamlabs, who reported that the live streaming industry grew by 91.8% year over year. We also saw the growth in community on Facebook. Active members in Facebook gaming groups, as well as the sheer number of gaming groups, grew substantially in the 3 months following the outbreak. We also saw an uptick in activity, posts, shares, discussion in the groups that already existed on Facebook before the pandemic. So the key takeaways are this: COVID-19 has led to an unprecedented surge in the number of people playing mobile games. New gamers have monetized well so far, so don't neglect the opportunity to cater to these new gamers' habits and broaden your audience targeting to incorporate them. If you do want to learn more and go into more depth into these findings, you can download a copy of the Insights report at fb.gg/insights2021. And with that, I will pass it to Chloe to start the panel.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Steven. I'm really excited to dive in a little bit deeper. So you mentioned that there were some new gamers. What are the differences in the types of games that the new gamers are playing versus the existing gamers?
So yeah, I had mentioned this a little briefly in the presentation, but it kind of depends on the country that you're looking at. In the US, UK, and Germany, new gamers showed a preference for more core genres. Like I mentioned, new gamers in these markets were more likely to say shooters, for example, a distinctly core genre, were in their top played games. This has led us to speculate that many of these new gamers in these markets may actually be console gamers coming to mobile for the first time in the pandemic due to having more free time. On the other hand, we did not observe major differences in genre preference between new and existing gamers in Brazil and South Korea.
That's super interesting. And what does spend look like for these new cohorts? What should people be looking out for?
New gamers reported spending money in mobile games, basically more money in mobile games relative to the existing gamer group. They spend money, though, for actually similar reasons if you look at it. So across markets, we saw that the top motivators for spend were to complete in-game items and gear collections, personalize avatars, accounts, characters, and to advance or skip challenging points in things like puzzle games.
Makes sense. And Dan, from your perspective, we're curious to know, what have you seen differently since you're in your business since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic? What's new and what's different?
Well, Chloe, we felt basically, especially in the beginning of the pandemic, was an increase in engagement in our games. Metric research, session time, and sessions per user have increased globally. This opened up opportunities for us for improving ads monetization, on which we also felt an increase in eCPM, especially last year. We are also being able to scale our acquisition campaigns by diversifying our acquisition channels and having good results with them, as we saw that there are more players who are more likely to try the mobile games. With new players coming, we also saw an increase in our purchase conversion rate for some of our games. This was driven by an increase in the first-time buyers, which connects with the study you guys showed us right now. So from our point of view, the new players who arrived because of the pandemic, they are generating value.
That's really interesting, and I'm glad to see that these trends are kind of holding truth in practical application as well. Stephen, so let's jump back to the research. How have existing gamers' behaviors changed since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic?
That's a great question, Chloe. In short, across most markets, we actually saw that existing gamers also were playing more frequently and for longer than they did pre-pandemic, and they reported playing a broader variety of games, both within and outside of genre, trying new genres as well. On the other hand, they did report spending less money than they were pre-pandemic, potentially due to the effects of the pandemic on the economy and employment. For developers, increased engagement and decreased propensity to spend may mean that ad-based monetization models are more effective in the long run for your longtime players.
That's really interesting. And Dan, are you noticing that these are similar trends in your business? And what types of opportunities are you looking for moving forward?
Yes, as I mentioned it before, the biggest effect we felt was the increasing players' engagement. And we are being able to explore this opportunity by working really closely with our product and ads team, where we are creating more ad locations and optimizing the existing ones. With that, we are being able to explore this more game time that the player are having, and this strategy has paid off, and it's something that we still have opportunities to continue optimizing it. And in our purchase side, we did not felt a drop in average ticket. On the contrary, we were able to optimize our pricing, which accounts segmentation strategy, taking into account the local economy and prices, and also with well-timed offers within our games. So especially for this type of strategy, I think that it's a good opportunity as well.
That's really great perspective. Thank you for that. And Stephen, let's kind of wrap us up with what does this all mean? What are some of like the key takeaways, and how should the mobile games ecosystem start to think about the business application moving forward?
Sure. So first and foremost, connect with this new gamer population. They're here to stay. Design and develop your games with these new audiences in mind, taking into account their more core tendencies, or basically propensity to potentially play console games or have some console experience, at least in some markets. This also means that marketers need to think about how their marketing activities and strategies should shift to reach these new audiences, such as broadening campaign targeting and developing creative that will capture and engage to this broader audience. Second, meet behavior changes with a mixed model. COVID-19 has led to an unprecedented surge in the number of people playing mobile games compared to pre-pandemic. But as I said before, they decreased existing gamers' likelihood to spend. Given that gamers are open to seeing ads, as well as make in-app purchases, consider ad-based monetization models, or at least mixed monetization models. Finally, create familiarity through awareness, recognition, and distinction. Mobile gaming marketers can learn from the console industry when it comes to storytelling, taking into consideration that people like to see gameplay and ads. By telling rich stories through immersive experiences and new formats, you can create familiarity, which we know drives discovery. Consider the creative elements in your ads with other creative means of engaging players, such as streamer partnerships, which also have the potential to influence prospective gamers.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I think with that, I'll kick it back over to Barbara to wrap us up.
Hi. So do you have some questions to this panel? Are you guys finished? Yes. Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. I wasn't sure if we had a Q&A session right now, so I'm sorry. Thank you again for your time, for all of this panel, and for bringing all of this information to Big Festival.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Big Festival 2021, the biggest games festival in Latin America.